How are you, my queen?
I'm doing good. How about you?
How many titles do you have?
Oh, I think around 5. I think 5 titles.
5 titles from drag pageants.
Yes.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Waianae, all from the west side, 96792.
So if you're joining us, this is Culturised. We're sitting down with 5-time drag queen pageant, 5 titles that you have. This is Shalani Dante. Mahalo for sitting with me. Makeup artist, community advocate, winner of multiple pageants. What don't you do, right?
Right. Cook.
You don't cook?
No, I do.
What is wrong with you?
I'm joking. I cook.
Oh, you cook.
I was joking.
What high school did you go to?
I actually graduated at Damien Memorial High School, class of 2005.
Nice. Yes. Damien Memorial High School. Wait, so you commuted from Waianae?
Yes.
Wow, every day?
Yes, every day. I think growing up, I went private school majority of my whole life.
Wow.
But always lived in Waianae.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your parents said, no, just don't stay here. Just go east of the power plant.
Yeah.
Just keep going up.
Yeah.
Damien from 9th grade or?
Yep, all 4 years.
Wow, where'd you go before that?
Before Damien, I went to St. John the Baptist in Kalihi, right next to the Friends School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then before
That's
that...
even further.
No.
Or is it farther?
No, Damien's further.
You're right.
And then after, before St. John's, I went to Rosary Preschool in Waikele area.
Wow.
Yeah.
So thinking about the schools that you went to, right? And thinking about yourself today, what is that? Is it weird for you? Is it strange? Or is it just, that's just where I went?
No, it wasn't. Honestly, like for all the private schools I went to, because I'm Catholic, and so my family, they were just said, let's go to private school the whole time to get the better education and everything. So me going to those private schools, it was pretty good.
And you went all 4 years?
All 4
Damien.
years.
When did you know you were Mahu?
I knew from actually an early age that I was different. I was odd. I wasn't looking at girls. You know what I mean? I looked at girls like, oh, they're pretty. Maybe I can brush their hair, do my makeup with them. Not until I got into high school, from knowing, sex and everything like that, I knew that I was attracted to kanes. You know what I mean? And I didn't know about my sexuality. I thought it was either I was gay or something more. So me coming into the drag scene and the gay scene and everything, I started performing and everything since I was 16. And I'm 33 now.
So you started young.
Yeah, I started young. I was hanging with a lot of the Mahus on the Waianae side because I was playing off-season volleyball. So I was always hanging out with them. So I came up with my girl name and everything. And every time was at the parks or at practice, they'll call me with my girl name. As soon as my parents picked me up, I said, don't call me that.
No
I said,
way.
cut it out.
So you were doing shows. You were dressing in drag even before you came out.
Yes.
Wow.
When I was 16 years old.
What was it like? And of course, in another episode, we were talking to Lakia and Maddie. How was it for you? How old were you when you came out?
When I set my family down and everything, came out when I was 18. I transitioned as a transsexual from male to female at the age of 20.
Wow.
Yeah. But like experimenting, going to the scenes, sneaking out of the house. I was 16 years old.
You were doing the typical girl thing, sneaking out of the house.
I was more rebel because I was Catholic, right?
Wow.
Catholic schoolgirls, you know what I mean?
Catholic school from Waianae.
Yes. Jumping off the roof. My friends used to laugh about it. We laugh about it this day. Because my house was a 2-story house. And so what I used to do is I tell my parents, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna go sleep, lock the door, turn on my music, take off the screen from my room, and then they see me jumping off the roof onto a car, and then changing my clothes inside their car as a girl.
Wow, and they had no idea.
No.
So for 2 years, 16 and then to 18.
Yes.
Did you plan the whole coming out, or like you said, you sat down the family and said, this is the deal?
Yeah, because with my whole experience of going from 16 to 18 when I transitioned, I was thinking to myself, do I feel more comfortable living a double life? You know what I mean? Or do I feel more comfortable living this identity that I live now. And when I was playing the parts, dressing up as girl at nighttime and daytime living my life as a male, I felt more accepted, felt more comfortable in the essences of a female. And so for me, that's what made me think about it even more, like, hey, what's the next steps for me to do? You know what I mean? Because I'm looking at all my beautiful idols as entertainers as well. Like, oh my God, I want her body. I want that curve. I want the thickness. You know what I mean? I want the hair. It's like, how do I do this?
Ethnic background.
I'm Hawaiian, Filipino, Russian.
Russian?
Yes.
That just came out of there.
Yeah.
Wow. Hawaiian, Filipino, Russian. And you came out at 18, already in drag at 16. And then you started getting into pageants. If you're joining us, Culturized, we're talking pageant culture with the queen. Bringing you what matters. Viewers can receive the Star Advertiser digital full access subscription for just $9.95 per month. Go to staradvertiser.com and click on subscribe. Use the code AHITHING. Aloha Termite and Pest Control, your local and leading pest and termite control solution in the state. Always providing you superior service with Aloha. So, 16, 18, you were doing shows, drag shows, transitioned into being a woman. Now, when did you first discover pageants? Because you're in a lot of pageants and you've been killing it in these pageants to the point where other girls are like, God, Shalani's in it.
Thank you.
What was the first pageant you seen? Not ran in, but realized, wow.
The very first pageant I seen was actually was Miss Venus, the year, I believe, Tiana Anderson and Kylie West was competing.
Whoa.
It was at that time, it was at the bar called Venus.
Yeah.
Right? So me and my friends, we all got dressed up, looked pretty. Everything was just going to be hanging out with the friends. But, oh no, it's a pageant. It's like, what is the pageant? Right? Sorry, excuse my language. It's like, what is the pageant? So I went inside there. I'm like, oh my God. I said, I want to do that. You know, I was like, okay, how can I be a celebrity? I can't sing professionally. I can't dance professionally. So I was like, so when I saw that, it's like, there's my outlet.
So you got that stage bug already.
Yes.
Like that vanity kicked in. Like, I want to be on the stage. I want people to know who I am.
I think it's the Leo part of me, right? So
of course.
Me being a Leo, I want to be the leader. I want to be the one everybody sees. So
that you've seen that. When did you decide? What was your first pageant that you entered?
The very first pageant I entered, I was actually I got kind of forced into doing, because they said you have all this stage presence and everything. So my friends, they're actually my family, my drag family, they said, oh, you should enter this backyard pageant in Waianae, actually not in Waianae, in Nanakuli, called Island Fantasy Goddess. When
you're performing, okay, so some people don't understand that, right? So you were performing at 16, right? And of course, we're talking about pageants. But when people say, I had a gig or I'm performing, what is that for those that have never seen it? What do you do when you perform? And whether it's on stage, what are you doing? Because a lot of people don't realize what you dress up, right?
What we like to call it is female impersonation drag show, right? Because what I figure is, you're not a drag queen, because a drag queen is like almost like men, you know what I mean? Loud makeup, big hair, is very, very
over the top.
And then for me, it's like, I want to look more realistic as a woman than anything. Give the men a fantasy, right?
Nice. That's the stage presence you have.
Yes.
You remember the first song you did? In a show?
The very first song I ever did was Dip It Low, Christina Milian. Literally, I think for like 2 years straight, everybody used to laugh at me because I used to have a Hot Topics bag. You know, like how small the Hot Topics bag?
Yeah, I remember.
And of course, so to this day, I'm very risky about my outfit. So it's all lingerie, right? Sorry, word. So I came from walking on the streets, you know what I mean, or catching the bus, wherever I'm at. And all I did was, at that time, I didn't know how to do any hair and makeup, right?
Really?
So everything was loose powder, Zia loose powder, eyeliner, mascara, and then my Hot Topics.
So who did you learn makeup from? Who did you learn?
I actually watching Backstage, and then me being in pageants, so many pageants, seeing their creativity of it, that I started tapping into it.
Is it so? girls that do drag shows, do they usually transition into pageants, or is it the other way around? They do pageants and then they go into drag shows.
I've been noticing, like, around my generation time, a lot of us girls that was in drag shows end up going into pageants, right?
Because the stage presence.
Because it's the stage presence, the show business of it, and showcasing the different casts that we're part of. You know what I mean? But I noticed that this new generation now, they're not pretty much all about pageants no more. They're pretty much just like being social media.
Oh, they want to be social media queens.
The next drag race. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Those
right,
kind of
right.
things, or just doing shows. That's all they care about.
So again, your first one.
Unfinished Show Goddess. My very first title?
Yeah.
Was actually Miss Venus, 2009, 2010. Yeah.
2000. I see. I thought you even before that. So 2009, Miss Venus. What in that pageant? And I know it's kind of similar to all of them. What are they? Is it like, as they say, regular girl pageant? There's swimsuit. There's gown. There's what happens? What it was?
So for the Miss Venus one, it was actually blue and gold. It was called your Miss Venus interpretation, blue and gold.
Oh, so they give you a concept.
Yeah, they give you concept for each category.
Oh, each category. So Miss Venus 2009, you have that title. And then once you win that title, I want to find out what other titles you have. So we're talking Mahu drag queen pageants right here on Culturised. If you want to learn more, subscribe to us at YouTube or culturised.com. Shalani Dante is hanging out with me, and we're talking culture. We're talking pageant culture, right? And I gotta say, I've emceed. No offense to regular pageants, but right, drag pageants, man.
Right.
And again, no to the regular pageants, but sometimes I think even like the Miss Hawaii pageant, they need to go look for the drag queen pageant creators and just
have more of a fun with it, right?
It's huge.
Yes.
Miss Venus was at the club, right? What was your next title after that?
After that was at the Japanese Culture Center University.
Oh, Boa, not Boa.
Yeah, Boa Arts.
Was it
Queen
Boa
of
Arts?
Queens, yes. Because there was
What year was that?
There was 3 pageants in one: Golden Goddess, Closet Queen, and Queen of Queens. I was Queen of Queens 2010, 2011.
I think I emceed after that.
Yeah,
that's right.
You did
I did
Christina's year.
That's right.
You did Christina's year.
So now your transition. Now pageants are getting bigger, right?
Stepping up the game even more.
Venus had their concepts for each one. What was Boa? What was that concept? Did they give you one as well,
For
or is it
Boa
the same?
Arts,
Yeah.
it was pretty much red presentation, swimsuit, evening gown, and talent.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is a question. It's a question, but I always would trip out how the investment wise, financially, the evening gown, like these things they're not like regular these
cheap.
things,
No.
and they're heavy. The first time I seen a drag queen evening gown, I was blown away.
Were you holding the dress up?
I had it on.
I knew it. I knew you.
No, and tell our friends, how much is just an average cost of one of those?
Oh my gosh. I think,
What's the most you paid for a dress, a gown?
I would say about $4,000 to $5,000. Just one dress.
One dress.
Yes.
Just sparkles, bedazzled, and heavy each. Wow.
Yes.
So that's just the dress. Now that's not even mentioning like, were most of your costumes like your swimsuit custom made?
Everything. All of my pageants were all custom made. It was never bought off from a store or anything. I got the materials, had a seamstress and everything to do all the labor and work, and that's not including the pay for the seamstress and the team that you have to hire, like the dancers and stuff.
So you won Boa. What's the full title in that? Miss Boa,
Queen of Queens.
Queen of Queens. Yeah. So now you're Miss Venus. Now you're Queen of Queens, and by this time, are you thinking, I can do this? Let's go bigger. What was next?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking that, and then I took a year off because my sister was entering USQ, Christina Doll.
That's right.
She was entering, and me and her, we have this kind of deal together, right? So whoever wins whatever pageant, the next sister has to run after the same thing, so we can crown each other.
I like that.
So I took a year off, and then the year you emceed was my year.
That's right. I think that was my first year. No,
I think it was Christina's year.
Christina's, and I gotta say, emceeing a drag, especially Universal Show Queen, I was amazed. Right?
Yes.
Now, and talk about pressure. I know you guys have pressure, but I tell some people this: when you're a straight man emceeing a drag show, and the audience, there's like 5,000 people in the audience, and everybody's clocking your tea, and everybody's looking at you going, why is he using that? Why is he dressed that way? How come his face looks like that? I couldn't, the pressure, I was freaking out.
Well, of course, too, where you guys were getting ready, coming through the middle of all the contestants and everything, your face was like... getting shiny and red, and you had to go around to the stage. You're like, what did you see backstage?
It was intense, and we're gonna get into backstage at drag pageants, because I think that's where the excitement is. If you're joining us on YouTube or culturised.com, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube. Hit the comment below. Let us know if you got any stories about her. I want to know. We're talking drag pageant culture and everything that goes on, and we're gonna get behind the scenes. That's what I want to talk about. Behind the scenes is always amazing, especially USQ. But so far, 2 titles we've covered. 3. Miss Venus, Queen of Queens, Universal Show Queen. What was after that?
After that, after winning Universal Show Queen 2013, I told myself I hit the peak, right, of my entertainment. Yeah, because Universal,
for Hawaii, is that like the pinnacle?
Yes.
For Hawaii, Universal Show Queen. If you've never been to the Universal Show Queen drag pageant, it is the most amazing pageant. And not just, in any pageant, whether it's a regular woman, just the pageantry, the stage, everything.
Well, I think for more of the audience, they can let you dress up and act up too. Everybody can wear any kind of costume they want to and feel okay and accepted with it.
This is what I was thinking. I always think they should put a drag audience in like a Miss Hawaii pageant. Can you imagine the heckling from the crowd?
Well, there's a lot of us that's actually there, because I helped one year Jocelyn Page for Miss Hawaii as assistants, as hair assistant.
Because that's what hair and makeup now. And so you're actually involved in a lot of the regular pageants. So after you took that break after USQ, what there was 2 more that you have titles?
Yes, there was 2 more. But when I took that break, I told myself I hit the peak, right? At that time, I was engaged with my ex-fiance. So I went to go back to school to get my my cosmetology license. It was a 2-year degree at HCC. And then in my mind, I conquered the gay scene, in my entertainment, in my career. So I said, okay, now let me try.
Now I got to be an adult.
Let me be an adult and conquer the straight community, regular 9 to 5 kind of job. So I was working towards that. And then my next bug when I got into a pageant again was 2017 Aloha State Continental.
Wow. Which was that's another
prelim.
Big one.
Yeah, which was a prelim to qualify to go to the main event in Chicago, Miss Continental.
Oh, that is, so you won preliminaries here. And so those of you joining us, if you don't know the Miss Continental is like the equivalent to the Miss Universe of drag pageants. And you went on to that in Chicago, and I love that. 2002, I went to Miss Continental. I didn't enter.
Notice, you guys, his face is getting really red.
No,
so something must have happened.
No, I gotta tell you a story. We're gonna go backwards. I went to Miss Continental. I was a backup dancer for Lily and Lakia Williams. So we were a backup dancer. I'm going to jump around. I came back to Hawaii, and this is the funny thing, the story of telephone. I get a phone call from a classmate that says, hey, I got to talk to you. I was like, yeah. They said, people are talking. I was like, oh, okay, about what? They said, somebody said you got a boob job, you went to Chicago, and you entered a drag pageant. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, I can see the boob job.
You can see the boob job.
I can see the boob job.
Is it good? And it was funny because for the longest time, people were like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "No." I was a backup dancer in a drag pageant for Lakia Williams. And so the Continental is, for me, I love it. That was my first impression of a very huge Miss Universe.
Like a mainstream.
It was
a mainstream
huge
drag
for you to be in it. And the other thing I noticed is the mainland drag scene loves Hawaii girls.
I think it's because we live with the Aloha spirit, right?
Yeah.
So we're always very welcoming. Of course, we always have our guards up.
Yeah.
But we show our culture.
But
and we're just very welcoming.
And I would always hear it when I was in, and I think we spent like 2 weeks. And it was funny because 2 weeks in Chicago, I brought up another dancer with me to go out. 2 weeks in Chicago in an apartment with 8 queens.
So you know what that means, right? No. 2 weeks, 8 queens.
That was when I realized,
That's why the rumors started.
My sisters.
Sisters now.
Sisters now with the weight. I really learned about that whole, not only the drag scene,
but how we operate, our camaraderie, and pretty much like how everything in our community operates behind the scenes.
Yes. Drag queen pageants, Shalani Dante, 5-time title holder. This is Culturized. We're talking about the behind the scenes, the on stage, and the things that go on. So if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget, subscribe to us, comment down below, and let us know what you think right here. Thanks for joining us, Shalani Dante.
Thank you for having me.
Culturized.com. Hey, thanks for joining us on the Culturized podcast. If you're on YouTube, hey, subscribe and
click the button.
click the button. We're talking drag queen pageants, drag life, and Shalani Dante, 5-time title holder. I know there's a lot that goes into it.
Yes.
Backstage, I've seen the most amazing things.
I just have to say, like, when you see me backstage, you know me. Everything is off, and then the first time I think when I saw you at the time at USK, you're like, I have a robe on, I took it off. You're like,
yeah, it's
hi. I said, I'm Shalani.
So, me walking backstage it's weird, it's funny, it's cool, it's amazing because I'm walking, everybody's just like.
Free.
Just
we're all free.
Boobs and skin, and
it's like
and
a nude beach.
Hey,
it's like a nude beach, but with a black curtain.
And everybody has a team. Mm-hmm. How big is your team? Like 5, 6, 7 people?
Usually my dancers would probably be like 5 or 6, and then my seamstress, my other drag mother, would make my outfits, and then I probably would say like 8.
Wow.
8.
There was one pageant that I emceed, the cat fights.
Yes. Oh, USQ. You're talking about USQ.
Okay,
I got you.
I stand there and I'm like, I don't even want to get involved.
Yeah. You just want to grab your bento.
Yeah. Because we go back to the whole concept of.
I love this part of the pageant.
It was. I stood there like.
Round 1.
Yeah, you got some of these crews. They don't fool around.
Yes.
Like they revert back into like man and like let's go.
I think what it also too is the controversy, right? And plus, too, you're putting so much money into it, and a lot of the girls that's coming to USQ, they're coming from the mainland, right? From LA, from Chicago, all over the place, right? So they want to make sure they get what they paid for, what they deserve. Right?
But because of the jealousy level too. So we were talking earlier about the drag scene on the mainland. They love Hawaii girls because, like you said, the aloha. But it's not only that. I remember them saying, they're just naturally beautiful, right? I know, but and they would say that. So it's like, I don't like them because they don't have to try. But I think that was kind of, there's a good handful that are jealous. I remember this one. We were in Chicago, and this is when I realized that Hawaii girls are just
queens.
Sisters.
Just joking.
We got out of the cab. You know where the Baton showroom is, so
Yes.
it's here, and there's a wide street. We get out and we're walking to the showroom, and there's this line of hundreds of people getting into the club. And it was like surreal because now I'm just learning about the whole drag scene, right? And about the Hawaii girls. We're walking across the street, and I seriously felt like everything was in slow motion because everybody that was lined up started applauding.
Yes.
Right? There was Lakia Williams, Kylie Williams, Stacy Jacobs. I forget who was there, but walking across the street, and everybody's just like, whoa. And I realized, whoa, they really like Hawaii girls.
Because that was the same kind of treatment when I came up there.
They
Everybody
treat
was
you
just
like
yeah, I was like, oh my gosh.
Do you ever get
Fangirled?
Yeah.
Did I ever fangirl? I had a couple idols. I was actually, I competed in Chicago, right, for Continental. And then I backstage couple times at Continental Plus. So when I was going to Continental Plus, I saw some of my idols that I used to like study when I was 16 to like now to like who I want to be, like the shape of their body, the way they perform and everything. So I was like, can I take a picture with you?
Wow.
And then I think that's when Lily, they were like, this is the most time I ever seen you fangirl somebody. Shalani, you're usually more composed.
Right.
I'm like, but this is my idol.
And now people are fangirling you. Did you ever get into altercations? I mean, you got dirty looks. You know,
yeah,
you
of
got
course I got
stink
dirty looks.
eye.
But for me, like giving to the other girls, no, I would look like, oh, okay, that's
Right.
what she got. But I remember the year that I was competing at USQ, the year that you judged, because that was also another year you hear the controversy, and she was getting ready next to me. Remember, she was getting ready next to me, and then I was just like, why are they all being so rude? And I was just there like, my seamstress, my mother, Bracia, and Yoshiko, them came. They're like, just stare in that mirror, continue doing some like curling my hair. And everybody's like, are you okay, Shalani? Because everybody's putting wigs on and everything. I was like, I think I'm a real girl, so I'm just curling my hair.
It was the craziest fight I've ever seen.
Yes.
It just happened all backstage and nobody knew what was going on. It was just yelling and screaming.
And then we go on the stage and we're just smiling like nothing happened. Yeah.
When you after all the pageants, are you going to do more?
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
I'm talking to myself, maybe I could do Continental maybe two more times before I hang up my pageant.
Panty?
Well, it's not a panty. You know I don't wear panties. But no, I think 2 more times I'm going to run Continental, and then wherever I place, I will be happy with it and just move on with my life. But after winning USQ 2013, that's when I started getting more into doing hair and makeup behind the scenes, because I told myself I completed everything I wanted to do on my list as an entertainer, right?
I like it.
And I told myself, okay, I'm not gonna be pretty forever, right? Truth.
What?
You know what I mean? We're always not gonna be pretty forever. So I said, if I become married, have the whole picket fence kind of thing, I want to get a salon chair, and then for me to be connected to my community, I rather do hair and makeup. Now I can make people feel how I felt on stage, because everybody used to say, oh my God, you're so beautiful, who does your hair, who does your makeup? So now I can charge them the right fee to make them look like me.
I like it, whether you're charging, and that's kind of been the theme so far, is this give back to hold you back to your community. So I really, really appreciate that. Shalani Dante, mahalo for taking time to come and powdering my face.
Of course.
And do I need more?
Just joking.
If you're joining us on YouTube, don't forget click the button right below, comment. Click the button. Click the the pasty. I was gonna say Paisleys. Shalani Dante.
Stumbling.
I know, right? Every time you come in front of me. This is Culturised. Check out our website, culturised.com.